and thank you for joining me. My name is Gabriel Brent, and we are going to be doing our weekly forecast and weekly outlook for June 17th, 2013. So let's get started. Alright, so throughout the course of these videos, what we're really trying to do is to give us some context as to why the market's doing what it's doing, and we really believe in the principles of supply and demand, support and resistance. But as you can see here on the TF2 40-minute chart, it looks like we've been in a nice little range market, but what's going to happen next, and where do we need to be watching for the week ahead? And in this video, we would like to give you that context by not only seeing what's going to or not only have seen what's been going on in the past, but also what's going to go on in the future. So with the Apazone software, we can literally make the invisible areas of supply and demand, support and resistance visible, and you can see them pop up on your chart. Why price action is doing what it is doing. We can help put some context so that as supply and demand changes in the marketplace, you know why it's changing and what it's likely to do next. Okay, so as we are looking at our different markets here, we can see this kind of stuff going on here on the TF. And let's pull up our little video from last week actually, and we can kind of see where we were last week in retrospect. Okay, so the first thing here, let's look at the TF. Oh, excuse me. Alright, so this is what we were looking at last week, and again, it was looking very, very ranged bound, so we had seen some different bounces here, but let's see what has happened since then. We were watching the 96, 91 level for resistance, as well as the 96, or excuse me, 968.6 level for a good area of support or demand, if you will. Alright, so these were the levels that we're watching. And now let's see what has happened since then. Alright, well, as it turns out, it looks like the levels pretty much here have stayed the same. It looks like we've been going back and forth with the different levels almost exactly, like even the level there right in the middle, is kind of looking like it's holding as well. And if we look back to last week when we did this video, you can see that, oh well, that really wasn't that bad of a level. Yes, it did get retested and it did get broken, but like it's kind of in the middle of the range there too, but it's kind of reformed itself. So and it looks like we just put in a hammer candle here, so this could be possibly a bigger push to the upside. So if we do go up, these are the levels that we're watching in the bigger time frames, just to give us some context as to what is happening here on the TF, because context is everything. Is it a good time to buy or is it a good time to sell? Well, is this a wholesale price or is this a retail price? All that stuff can be answered as we look at the Let's look at CL now, and this is what has transpired here. Let's go ahead and look back at the older video of last week to see what it looked like, just to do a little bit of a wrap up here. Alright, so we saw that price wasn't able to break below 91.18, and it looks like it really did bounce off this level, even though it was a couple ticks shy, and that we're coming up into the 96.86 levels. Okay, so let's and this was last week's forecast, so we're looking just for it to go higher. Okay, so let's look at what happened in all of that. Well, sure enough, prices did go higher, and that zone that was aqua, um, right here, we got the nice little bounce off of it there, and on that candle, and it did go into this level a little bit more, but it came back up there and started pushing through that yellow zone, and now we're in the blue zone above that, and so now we're getting up there a ways, and we've just done this nice little slow type of trend thing, slowly. It almost literally looks like stair steps, like there's one step, and apparently that's kind of a weak step, and then you have another step right there, and another step right there. It's literally stair stepping. It's way off of these levels. So, very interesting stuff. If we look a little bit higher, I'm not sure I see anything there, but we can see all the levels up and down on our chart. So, hopefully that will help us. And again, on this 240-minute time frame, we are going back 180 days. So we would have to push our data back to go above these levels here at close to $100 a barrel. So that's what we're looking at right now for crude. This level is brown here, so that means it's been hit a bunch. So we would think that that would be a little bit weaker, and it looks like we're finding support on this newly formed zone here as well. So let's see if we can't continue the up push. Moving over to the ES or S&P 500 futures, you can see the different levels as price was coming down here. You can see all those different bounces that we've talked through or talked about over the past while, as well as a new zone that was forming just around 1600, and looking at 1653, 1668 for potential levels of supply or resistance up there. So let's go ahead and see what has happened. Well, it looks like the level that was just formed there has now received its money bounce, and you can see what that looks like on this chart here. So you can see as it retested that level, or the bottom of that level, had a nice little couple hammer candles, almost a doji on that one, and then we pushed up to the upside. So we are looking to continue that up thrust, but realize that we could be finding new support down here at this fresh level, as well as it looks like price responded to this zone right here, and is coming down now, where it came down, a good bit, I should say, but the market seems to be pushing higher in general. So please keep note of that. Please be watching out for this zone up above us right there, as well as this 1662 to 1680 up above that. So, but it does look like it's a kind of a range, so to speak. If you look like since 6/4 really until today, we've been in a nice little range pattern going back and forth. But it's very possible that we could be breaking out to the upside, as we found really good support right here. So please watch out for that. Alright, turning our focus onto the euro, realize that we have been looking for the euro in the bigger time frame, from moving from demand up to supply. So that is what it looks like it has continued to do, slowly but surely. The euro is pushing higher, and if we go back a few weeks, I know that we can see on the weekly levels is where we're looking from this movement from demand up to supply. If we refer back to our last week's video, you can kind of see what this movement was looking like. So we had a nice little rally, and then it came back down, and now it was continuing on the rally, as it kind of stuttered out there, and we're looking for the bigger moves on the weekly picture. Okay, so that's really the move that we're watching. Um, as we're approaching the 134 level that we've been talking about on the euro for quite a while, for at least 3 or 4 weeks now. It looks like we're getting really, really close to these big weekly levels up here. So it looks like we're putting in a little bit of base. I wouldn't be surprised to break out high and then possibly go a little bit lower, just to give us a nice little price action type of movement here. So, and again, this is where that big weekly level is at 134. So there was our base. Actually, there was our base down there, but that was the low. It looks like back in July of last year, and looks like we're just pushing higher. So we received a retest of that zone on the weekly chart. Now we're just coming up here even higher. So we'll see how that continues to play out. Alright, now let's go ahead and look at corn. So this is what we're looking at here. Again, we are watching 700s, these two levels up here for where prices is going to be going up to. And if we look at our last week's forecast, this is what we have seen. We are in a range, a nice little range motion going on here at 1690. Or I'm sorry, 669.75. And we're just kind of bouncing back and forth with that range with really good, really big support down here. And because this is long term happening over several days, we would call this demand. All right. So let's go ahead and see what has happened. And as you can tell, we actually did bounce off of that level like to the T. Like it just came down there and kissed that level just really, really nicely, and recoiled back to the upside. So you can see some of these older levels here as we're looking at this was the range that we were seeing last week. This is what we were looking at right here, and obviously price broke out to the downside. Then it kind of retested back into the highs, made a new high, which this is very important. We want to keep the channel going, and the higher highs and higher lows keep on going. So it did make a new high, but it did come down and retest support like to the button. Just right there, kissed it, and now we're retesting the high. So we want this level to break and into a new high up into the 700s. So that is where we're looking at. So I hope all you farmers are paying attention, and hopefully that helps everybody as we're going into to a new week. I hope that the trend is with you. So have a good week, everybody, and we will catch you next time.